And then there are other theodicies that fall into what I call the category of free will. And this is the most popular way to answer this problem, or it's what keeps people in the dilemma the longest. It is that you just can't have a God who takes away our free will. Can't do that. We're Americans. This is a democracy. I'll promise you this, though. If you grew up in medieval England, or if you were living in a tribe with a chief, or if you grew up in a totalitarian dictatorship, you wouldn't be wrestling quite as much with human rights. You would have a better understanding of unilateral power and sovereignty than you do. The American experiment doesn't really help our theology at this point. Free will is more important to God than disallowing evil. That's an interesting concept. Free will trumps evil on God's value scale. I am so committed to free will that it's going to mean I have to allow evil. God prized human autonomy, and to protect human autonomy, he had to allow evil. So evil backs in the door because free will trumps everything. Humans have to have the self-determined freedom to act, and if God acted as the primary cause on them, if God decided and God coerced and God compelled, it would violate their will. Again, you would still have to answer the question as to why, if God knew they would have free will and make stupid choices, he made them capable of doing that. It doesn't help you. You see, to design a God that has limited knowledge, to design a God that has limited power, to design a God, listen to this, who would rather have us do our will than him do his will, is to design a God that is not in the Bible. So, God is all-knowing, God is all-powerful, evil exists, God willed evil to exist. He didn't create it. That would be impossible for him, as it is impossible for him to do any evil. But he willed that it exist. Now that leads us to the question, why? And I think maybe we just have time to address that. Why? Well, you might be glad to know that I'm not here to be the first person to give you the answer. How about the Westminster Confession? Listen to this. God, from all eternity, did, by the most wise and holy counsel of his own will, freely and unchangeably ordain whatsoever comes to pass. Yet, so, as thereby neither is God the author of sin, nor is violence offered to the will of the creatures, nor is the liberty or contingency of second-hand causes taken away, sinfulness proceeds only from the creature and not from God, who being most holy and righteous, neither can be the author and approver of sin. And later it says, all that God decrees and providentially brings to pass is all to the praise of his glory. Therefore, the existence of evil is, in the end, to the praise of his glory. And if you answer this question right, my friend, it will take you to heights of worship that you would never be able to experience if you don't answer it correctly. Because you have a diminished God. The reason God ordained evil is for his own glory. Simple question. Is God made more glorious because evil exists? Or is he made less glorious because evil exists? I will tell you this. God is made infinitely more glorious because evil exists. We praise him because of what he has done to overcome evil.